Maestro Michael Hasel, after so many concerts, recitals, and recordings, as a member of the Berliner Philharmoniker, but also as a soloist, conductor, and teacher, how would you describe your journey through music and life?
Well, it's a wonderful journey because I had the luck to come as a relatively young man to Berlin and to become a member of the Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra. Still Herbert von Karajan as music director, and you can imagine this was one of the greatest experiences I ever had in my life.
Of course, yes. In 1984, you became a member of the Berliner Philharmoniker, one of the greatest orchestras of all times. How was it for you to enter in the Berliner Philharmoniker's world, ruled at that time, as you said, by Herbert von Karajan?
Well, you know, I played for 2 years before I came to Berlin in the Radio Philharmonie Orchestra in Frankfurt.
Yes.
What is an excellent orchestra, very good. But then to come to Berlin, it was like coming to another world. You know, it was still, let's say, the old Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra. We had at that time many of the old colleagues who made the whole career with Herbert von Karajan. And, you know, it was this brand name Berliner Philharmoniker plus Herbert von Karajan, what was, well, the number one name in music world.
Yes. Is there any chance to describe a rehearsal under Karajan's baton?
Well, you know, at that time when I entered the orchestra, he was, of course, an old man. So his health was not the best
Declining.
At that time. And he did not rehearse that much. Because even the repertoire was relatively small, and most of the people, they knew this repertoire exactly, and there were mostly very short rehearsals, sound checks, fix things, and then it was the concentration on the concert performance.
Yes, I understand. Well, under Karajan's leadership, the orchestra cultivated a unique beauty of the sound. It was, I think, Karajan's main artistic purpose. Almost everything sounded beautiful, even the most rough scores.
Well, I never had the opportunity to play one of the rough scores with Herbert von Karajan, because at that time he mostly did the more classical romantic repertoire, no, not anymore Sacre de Printemps or things like that. But of course I know the old recordings, and this is really interesting how beautiful a Stravinsky score can sound with a first-rate orchestra.
Yes. When Maestro Claudio Abbado was appointed as chief conductor in 1990, he presented himself with those famous words, "I am Claudio for everyone, no titles." One of Abbado's purposes was to obtain a more transparent orchestral sound. How was it, Maestro Hasel, to play under Abbado's baton?
Yeah, well, it was, again, completely different. It was a completely new style, not only, as you said, in terms of communication between orchestra and maestro.
It was something completely different.
Yes, absolutely. And at that time, there was a big change in the orchestra. Many new people, many young people came to the orchestra. So it was a complete change of personnel in the orchestra. So everything changed.
Yes. A new era began in 2002 when Simon Rattle was appointed chief conductor. How would you describe the essence of the Berliner Philharmonic's sound under Maestro Rattle's baton?
Well, you know, the sound didn't change so much.
Yes.
But of course, we spread out our activities. We launched a very big education program. We played many new pieces, new repertoire, what the orchestra had never played before. So contemporary pieces. For example, now we played for the first time during the last years a complete Sibelius cycle, all symphonies that hasn't been done since the time of Herbert von Karajan. And so it's a new repertoire, it's a new approach again to music.
Yes, and the orchestra has established its first education department under the leadership of Simon Rattle.
Yeah, what is a very successful
And
thing
important,
and incredibly important.
Yes.
Because we are working on our audience for the future.
Yes, yes. 9 years ago, a controversy began in the press regarding the quality of Simon Rattle's concerts. Any comments on that, Maestro Michael Hasel?
No.
Okay.
To make it very short.
I
won't complain. For me, Simon Rattle is one of the greatest conductors. And you can have a discussion over every conductor. And so there shouldn't be any point.
Of course. Who will be in 2017 Maestro Rattle's successor? Gustavo Dudamel, Christian Thielemann, Andries Nelsons, or perhaps Ricardo Chailly?
Well, sorry, I can't say it. I don't know it.
Yes.
We will have an election on 11th
meeting,
of May. We will discuss that with a full orchestra meeting, and then we make an election, and in the end, we hopefully will know who it will be. But of course, I have my personal opinion, what I would love to have as next...
Could you tell us?
No.
Okay. In 1992, Sergiu Celibidache returned in Berlin to conduct, after 38 years, the Berliner Philharmoniker. How important was that concert for the Berlin Orchestra?
Well, I think it was a very important journey to former times, journey back to have Celibidache again, because when he was a young man, he did so many and so fantastic concerts with the orchestra. When you listen to the old recordings from that time,
I have all the recordings, yes.
See the movies, the TV things, it was simply magic. Yeah.
Yes. I would like to know your thoughts about Celibidache's deep thinking and style of conducting.
Well, this is difficult to say for me, because let's say me as a conductor, I have a totally different approach to music than Sergiu had. So I can't describe it, because I'm not in this philosophical
Zen
spirit.
Buddhist
And
doctrine.
I'm not in this philosophy of
Yes.
making music. It's not my thing. So
Yes.
I can't say too much about that.
Yes. Berliner Philharmoniker will play one concert in September at the UNESCO Festival. Works by Britten, Frank Bridge Variations, and Shostakovich Symphony No. 4. What are your personal thoughts, Maestro, about this event?
Well, for me, this appearance here in Timisoara is my first time in Romania anyway, and I'm deeply impressed. I'm impressed by the city. I'm impressed by the people, by the qualities of the orchestra. So I'm very much looking forward to play in Bucharest. I've never ever been there, so I don't know the city, I don't know the festival.
Yes.
Let's see how it is.
What is your perception about Enescu's music?
Well, I don't know so many pieces. There's one very famous flute piece, Cantabile e Presto. I played that, of course, many times.
And probably the Romanian Rhapsody.
And we played the Romanian Rhapsody. I know some of the other concert pieces, symphonies and things, but I'm not so familiar with the music.
Yes. Maestro Michael Hasel, in your training as a conductor, who exerted the strongest influence on you?
Well, I had a very good teacher at the music university who set up a very good basis in conducting the basic things. And then I had the luck to do lots of private lessons and have discussions with Michael Gielen, who was at that time the music director of the Frankfurt Opera. And he and his intellectual and structural thinking about music, he influenced me very much.
Yes. For a conductor, one of the most important aspects is that an orchestra must be able to feel in advance what the conductor wants. But the big question is always, how far in advance, Maestro Michael Hasel?
Well, it's not easy when you meet an orchestra for the first time. so everybody is a little bit shy and try to test out how the communication will be and could be. But for me, it's a very nice and very good communication with the orchestra here. And after 2 days of rehearsing, I have the feeling they know already a little bit about my approach, how to make music, how to interpret those pieces. So I'm looking very much forward to the concert.
Every orchestra expects the conductor to give something special. The musicians have to feel that the conductor do it just for pleasure, I think.
Well, it's not only pleasure, it's hard work, you know.
Yes, yes.
No, but it's really a pleasure to work with the people here because they are very nice, very attentive, and they try to do that what I want to have.
So how do you feel conducting Banatul Philharmonic Orchestra, Maestro Michael Hasel?
Yeah, it was a great surprise. It's great players. The orchestra sounds very well when you turn a little bit the screws.
Tuning,
yeah. Yes. And, well, unfortunately, the acoustics of the hall are not the best.
Yes,
but
we know.
I think we
With
can
a little
fix it.
adjustment.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. What is your opinion regarding the orchestra's potential?
There's a big potential. Of course, they need some, let's say, education
Pushing.
and some support
Yes.
by good conductors, but there's a great potential.
What connections can you establish between your spiritual world and Horia Shurianu's music?
Well, when I read the score for the first time, it was fun for me, and it is a piece it's contemporary music, but it includes folkloristic aspects of Romanian music.
A combination of modal and spectral music.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's very nice I think for the audience, it's easy to listen and easy to accept, and it's beautiful music, and we have two wonderful soloists, so it will be great fun for everybody, I hope.
Yes. How hard is for you, maestro, to be in the same time flutist, a member of the Berliner Philharmonic's wind quintet, conductor, and also a teacher? How do you balance your remarkable career?
Well, it's mostly a problem of timing, and you are very often away from home, away from family, what is not easy. But I try to keep everything a little bit on low key, don't work too much, and try to balance it. That's all I can do. But of course, I want to do many things, and it's fantastic that I have the possibilities to do that. But you also have to see there is a private life, and there is a life without music.
Besides the music, what brings you joy in life?
Well, we have a boat, and I
Very
like
nice.
very much water sports. So in summertime, we spend most of the time on our boat, and this is very enjoyable. And Berlin is a wonderful city. It's very green, a lot of rivers, and so we can go out in the forests, do some bicycle tours or whatever. So it's a nice balance in Berlin.
Yes. What is it, as you go forward through life, that you try, that you want to achieve?
What a question.
A difficult one, or?
It is, yeah. Because, well, of course I try to work on my artistic visions. I try to work on my human visions to, well, a little bit sounds very over the top, but to create a better world and to be a nice person and see how you can make everybody happy and be together. I don't want to put it too philosophically, because this is...
Yes. Have you found the credo of your life?
No, I'm still looking for that, and I'm working on that.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Maestro.
Thank you.
Thank you.